Graph the following inequality: y is greater than or equal to 5. What we're trying to do here is to plot all the points in the plane that have a y-coordinate that is greater than or equal to 5. Let's begin by plotting the points that have a y-coordinate that is equal to 5. In other words, we're going to graph the associated linear equation y is equal to 5. So what we need to do is think, what are some points that have a y-coordinate of 5? Well, one point would be 0, 5. Another point would be 2, 5. Another point would be 4, 5. Another point would be 6, 5, and so on. And the thing that we notice is that all of these points lie along the same horizontal line, the horizontal line that has a y-intercept of 5. So we go ahead and graph the horizontal line that has a y-intercept of 5. And that's a graph of y is equal to 5. We use a solid line because the inequality includes equal. Y is greater than or equal to the number 5. If we had had a strict inequality, then we would use the dashed line instead. All right, the next thing that we want to focus on is the greater than part. What does it mean for y to be greater than 5? So y is equal to 5 or y is greater than 5. Well, greater than 5 means that the y-coordinate of the point has to be more than 5. So what would be some examples? Well, we would have 0, 7. 7 is bigger than 5. We would also have, let's say, 3, 8. 8 is bigger than 5. We could also have a negative x value. For example, if x is negative 8 and y was equal to 9, 9 is bigger than 5. So this point would satisfy the inequality as well. What we notice is that all the points that have a y-coordinate that is greater than 5 are above the line y equals 5. So to demonstrate or to graph the inequality, what we do is we shade in the region that is above the horizontal line. We shade in all the points that have a y-coordinate greater than 5. So let me select my shade tool here and shade in all the points that are above the line y equals 5. Right, so this region that we've shaded in, this is a graph of y is greater than or equal to 5. All the points that are on or above the horizontal line at y is equal to 5. Now you might be interested to know that your graphing calculator can sketch inequalities as well. So let me go over that procedure with you. What you want to do is to locate the inequalities graphing application. So the first thing you're going to do is to press apps and then locate the inequalities application. So when you press apps, it brings up all the different applications on your calculator. You want to scroll down and locate the inequalities application. Or a more efficient method would be just to press alpha and then select the letter I, which is right above x squared. So you get alpha x squared, and that will take you directly to the inequalities application. Once you've located the inequalities application, press enter, and that turns on the inequalities application. And then what you'll do is to go to y equals. When you go to y equals, you'll notice that down at the bottom it has equals, less than or equal, greater than or equal. For our exercise, we want greater than or equal, which is right above graph. In order to access that greater than or equal symbol, you press alpha and then graph. So hit alpha and then graph, and it will change the equal symbol to a greater than or equal symbol. And notice also that when the equal symbol changed to greater than or equal, over here to the left, it has shade above. If we have y is greater than or equal to something, then that indicates that we need to shade above. Okay, well, we want y is greater than or equal to 5, so the next thing you'll do is use your right arrow key to move to the right of the inequality symbol and then press the number 5. So once you have your inequality entered into the calculator, the next thing that you want to do is to graph the inequality. And in order to graph the inequality, you need a good viewing window. To select a good viewing window, go to Zoom and select Zoom Standard. Zoom and then select Zoom Standard. Notice that it graphs the line y equals 5 and then it shades everything above that line. Once you're finished graphing your inequality, then you want to turn the application off. The way that you turn the application off is to Apps and then go back to the inequalities application. So press Apps and that brings up the applications. The next thing you'll do is hit alpha x squared to take you to the I applications. Press enter to select the inequalities application. And you'll notice that one of the options is to quit the inequalities application. So you either want to press the number 2 or scroll down to number 2 and then press enter. It turns the application off and you'll no longer have the inequality there. It will be back to just a regular equation.